Shakalaka! The Knicks are great. These kids and our party just lit. That's the Parlay Lord. You know we let Knickerbocker have a talk to him. Let's go! Drip, 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 drip. It's a Knicks. Drip, 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 drip. We lit.
Yeah. Live and direct once again on the YouTube screen. It is your favorite Knicks and Ish panel. And of course, y'all already know the vibe because I am the one and only Parlay Lord, aka Fraz Taz, here in the building with the Knicks and Ish panel. Never limited to, but always including the First Lady of Knicks and Ish, Mrs. Knicks, is in the building. Join me with a salute for my good brother Knickerbocker Ave, and live from the vehicle, our good brother, the one and only, in the building. So do me a favor, press like for your favorite panel. Sharing is always caring. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell. Have it set to all so you get all notifications when Knicks and Ish goes live. And do remember, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all literally want the panel to stop what they doing at that moment and respond to something that you want us to respond to, it could be a question, you could have a comment, whatever it may be. Hit us up with a super chat, y'all, and we will definitely stop what we're doing right in the middle of what we're doing and address your super chat. So do remember, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I let the panel give me their initial thoughts on the game, let me just set the stage for 2 seconds. But first and foremost, housekeeping. I see Frankie Fingers in the building. Shout out to my guy. Of course, we got our good sis Darlene is in the building. Shout out to the day one Darlene. My good brother King Q is here in the building, always on the pull up. Michael Brown, we see you out there in these YouTube streets. You know what I mean? Michael Pringle, I see you out there. We know you here with us. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all for being here. You know what I mean? Of course, we got Matty Ice in here. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate all of y'all for pulling up. So, ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Paulie, the Pulse Police is in the building. Oh, man. Watch what you say. If you go ahead and Pulse Police today. But let me set the stage real quick. So, tonight's game, y'all, was the first time in a while we've seen the Knicks go the whole game and literally flat out give the haymaker KO punch from the first quarter. New York Knicks over the Portland Trail Blazers at the Garden, 127-97. 5 wins in a row for the New York Knicks, led by who else? The captain. But panel, please give me your initial thoughts on this game.
Belt to ass. Belt to motherfucking ass. The way it's
Yes.
supposed to happen. That's what I wanted to see. You know, they're an inferior team to us. So we needed to handle business. And that's exactly what we did. You know, first quarter, it was the Josh Hart show. Josh Hart was the Energizer Bunny in the first quarter. I think he had like 7 points or 9 points in the first quarter. He was just taking it to the rack, taking it to the rack. They couldn't stop him. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Let's see. 29 assists. What do I say? That wins basketball games. Plain and simple, that wins basketball games. We shot pretty well. We shot 48%, 42 from the 3-point line. OG had another great game. The captain had a great game. He hit 10,000 career points, which we'll talk about later on. Cat only had 14 points, but he threw in 20 rebounds. Again, doing whatever it takes to win basketball games. You cannot be mad at that. I feel like this was a game we should have won and should have won easily. And that's what we did. I mean, I feel like personally, we played with our food a little bit because we were up by 24 at one point and we should have kept our foot on the gas. But it is what it is. I take the win and we move on.
I think playing with our food is an understatement because I think Sis mentioned it. We were up by 24 at one point early on in the second quarter. Portland went on a pretty good run to close out the first half. They cut the lead to 10. And then, of course, the Knicks ended up, destroying them, by 30. But so imagine had they not been able to get that run in, what this end result would have been. So I'm good with the dub. I'm good with the performances. It's not exactly how it gets done. It's the fact that it gets done. That matters. Yeah, we will sit here and talk about individual games and individual performances, but at the end of the day, it's a victory. And it results in the New York Knicks, getting back up there in the standings because, surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought it was safe, to start climbing the Eastern Conference standings, look, we just climbed right back into second place. Hello, Boston. Thanks for keeping our spot warm for a little bit. Cleveland, Detroit, we got too comfortable because now we're coming back. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But good overall victory, from beginning to end. That's Knicks basketball. Kev?
To be honest, I'm kind of proud of the fact that we actually played all four quarterback. Like we played 4 quarters. I can't remember I can't remember the last time we actually from start to finish a little bumps in the roads here and there, like Av said, they cut it down to like I think it was like 8 points or 8 points or something like that at one point. But the Knicks, the Knicks kept being aggressive. They didn't fall short on nothing. They were playing solid basketball throughout the game, rebounding, moving the ball around, shooting well. I mean, everything was clicking. But I think the most important thing that they did to me was defense because in the last, excuse me, within the last, like, let's say 15 games, we've been struggling with that. Defense has been a big problem. So I would say this is like the 3rd or 4th straight game we keep teams under 100 points. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what kind of team that we have. And we know that when these guys put the effort in to winning, this is what you get. You know what I mean? This is what you get. You get to watch, the Knicks come, put belt to fucking ass, and just end the game the way we wanted to end it, man. It was an impressive win against a pretty stubborn Portland team that gave us fit that first game. I think that these guys went back, looked at the film, seen what was going on, see what they did wrong, and I really felt like in this game they was like, wait a minute, we not making these same mistakes. Fuck that. So shout out to the guys, every single one of them, man. Like I ain't gonna even mention names. Shout out to every single one of them. All of them guys that played, they all played well, and it was a great victory.
Right?
First and foremost, shout out everybody in the building. Y'all know what it is when we on the YouTube. First and foremost, I gotta say, it has been quite some time since we seen the Knicks handle business like they did tonight. I mean, it is so refreshing to see because you heard me here on the panel first say, I'm not worried about what's going on with the New York Knicks because of the simple fact that it's a first year squad. You're gonna have ups and downs. You gotta expect that. You know what I mean? But look, here we are again with another timely win streak. Put us back in second place in the Eastern Conference. I mean, what more can I say? Another team effort once again. And I I always like to refer what Sis always say about the New York Knicks. Because when we play New York Knicks basketball, this is how it's supposed to look. What you saw tonight is how it's supposed to look. The game plan tonight was simple. Limit the free throw shots for Portland because Avdija, excuse me, let me say it right. Avdija, he had a number of free throw attempts the first game. Tonight, as a matter of fact, Avdija only had like 11 points or something like that tonight.
Yep. 11 points, three
One,
free throw attempts.
the Knicks played wonderful defense against Avdija tonight because of the simple fact that we knew coming out they would have been looking to get to the free throw line like they did when we played them in Portland recently. Now, with that being said, Avdija got taken out of the game. I'm okay with the fact that only one guy on Portland had over 20 points, and that was Shaden Sharp. And Kev alluded to the fact earlier that this is the fourth straight game that the Knicks have held opponents under 100 points. OG Anunoby, 24 points, 10 of 16 from the field, 50% from three. Can't ask for much more than that from OG. Cat with another double, 14 and 20. Josh Hart was on a motherfucking heater. And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Hart plays very well against the Trail Blazers. Do not forget this, y'all. I've said this already. You've seen the video when we got him. Josh Hart plays well against limiting Portland, second chance buckets. Again, second chance, limiting the opponent on second chance opportunities is another critical thing that the Knicks need to continue to get done. Literally, continue to get it done. No, listen, I can't speak enough about the captain coming back from an off night. Led the way with 26. The only thing, and I will say this, the only thing I didn't like is the turnover. I wasn't feeling that. You know what I'm saying? I think this game could have been put away way earlier if it wasn't for turnovers, especially in the second quarter leading into halftime. You know what I mean? And I would like to give one last shout out before I land the plane. Muhammad Diawara. That man came off the bench and put up 10 points tonight. He's starting to look more comfortable in the offense, and he's playing within the offense, playing within the flow of the offense. He's not trying to do too much, and that's what I like about him. I think moving forward, it's time for Mike Brown to understand. Play the guys. Because remember, if for those people who don't know, two-way players can only play a maximum of 50 games and do not get included on the playoff roster. And I land the plane.
Well, yeah. For those of you who didn't notice, Dylan Jones is on the roster. He played 3 minutes, and so
he hit a three.
He hit a three. So he's not part of the thing. A quick correction on Kev, and you and Fraz both said the same thing. This is the third consecutive game the Knicks have held an opponent under 100 points. It's the fourth out of the last five. Unfortunately, in Philadelphia, they scored 100 and.
Oh yeah, Philly. Yeah, that's right.
They scored 109, and we beat them 112 to 109. But if you really start to think back, it started to show that the Knicks were paying attention to to the finer details on defense. And I mean, look at this key thing. I mean, it's nice to say. I mean, it sucks that we're paying attention to this, but even Cat has been paying attention. Cat has been out of foul trouble. Cat had one foul today.
It's crazy that you say that because when he got the block shot, I was like, "Oh, that was good timing," because that normally would have been a fucking foul.
Right.
So I was like, it was funny that you said that, but now it does look like he's paying a lot more attention, and it's good to see. I mean, it shows growth, right? Like it's hard to show an old pony new tricks, right? And apparently this has been his MO almost his entire career. So to at least see him put in effort is the good thing. I don't know. Today he just had a vibe like, although he didn't put up big points, like his demeanor on the court was a little different than what we've been seeing.
It definitely shows a level of maturity. I mean, if you listen to to the pundits all across the NBA, across sports radio, what is the one thing that people are saying? They really need to see Karl-Anthony Towns be a man, grow up, things of that sort. I've been seeing that out of him, and yes, he's still not getting calls. There are times where I'm looking at he's just not getting the calls. So, on one hand, you understand why he's getting upset, why he's not getting, why maybe he's baiting people a little bit, but you didn't. I mean, there was at least 2 occasions tonight where he didn't get the call, but he didn't
on the putbacks.
He didn't stop. He just kept, he let people know about it. But I think this is one of those occasions where, all right, if Carl's going to do his part, I need Mike Brown to kind of get, into these refs and, pause and let them know you need to blow the whistle for my guy here, because you can't be down, getting into the paint, getting all of that kind of contact and not get any kind of whistle. This is like absurd. I mean, how long has it been since, you saw Cat get double-digit free throw attempts? It's been a minute. Oh, I mean, a long minute.
I don't even remember.
It probably has not happened this season.
Right.
To be honest, though, I've come to terms with the fact that Mike Brown ain't gonna stick up for his guys.
He's
just gonna stand there and look and just with a
look like an idiot,
with like a lost face and not say a word. That's the one thing. Like, people could say whatever they want about Tibbs, but Tibbs was cursing motherfuckers out. You know what I mean? And to a point that sometimes I'm like, yo, chill, Tibbs, you're gonna get a tech.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, when we're gonna get that kind of energy from Mike Brown, but I don't know, man. But I do like the way Cat has been playing as of late. I don't know if all that stuff is in his ear, but I like the way he's playing, man. Like, he plays more focused. He's complaining less. Maybe the guys, sat down and talked to him and was like, yo, it's time to man up and play ball. I mean, because sometimes all that complaining and it kind of rubs off on everybody else. Pause, Paulie, pause. But as of late, it's been different, and I'm liking the vibes.
Absolutely. Fred's. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, what's the topic, my bad?
Karl-Anthony Towns, recent performances, maturity.
I mean, it doesn't it doesn't really phase me because at this point of the game, the Knicks have so much firepower that you've seen it yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Cat hasn't had the best of games, especially in the last 5 to 10. And the Knicks have still found ways to not only beat some of the opponents, but still, like you saw tonight, blowout. The other night, fourth quarter, literally walked them down in the fourth quarter of the last game in Sacramento. So again, as long as we're trending in the right direction and Cat is finding other ways to positively affect the game, like the which probably will be the dime of the year that he had in Toronto off the rebound, you know? So again, I think we good. I think the Knicks need to just continue to play like this, hold each other accountable, and buy into continually being consistent, especially on the defensive end, because it translates very well to us for us in offense.
Right. I mean, like I say, show after show, our team is super deep. And so, we don't need guys to score huge numbers at all, but every night even. You know what I mean? Like they can have off nights or not even off nights because realistically he's doing whatever we need him to do to win. And so it's like, do we complain because he scored what today? 14 points? Like, do we complain that he had 8 points last game when he gave us 22 rebounds? He gave us 20 rebounds today. It's like I think that's the thing that a lot of Knicks fans continue to forget. Like, as long as they impact winning, that should be all that matters, right? Like, I get it. He gets paid big bucks. I understand that. But on a team that's as loaded as the Knicks are loaded, do we need him to give us 30 every night? Do we need JB to give us 30 every night? We really don't. When you have guys like OG giving us 20 plus a night, when you got guys like Josh that can give us 20 points a night, when you have guys like Mikal that can give us 20 points a night, you don't need your big guys to score all those points. You know what I mean? You need them to make the right decisions and the right plays to allow us to win basketball games. Now, when it comes to the playoffs, best believe I have all faith that they both will show up big time in the playoffs. You know what I mean? But at this point, let's just get there, do whatever it needs to be done to make it happen. And that's it. If y'all trying to talk, y'all muted.
Nah, what happened to that?
Nah, I mean, I agree. So as long like, you know, the big thing with Cat is foul trouble, right? Because that's his like biggest weakness. And I feel like as long as he stays out of that, we good money.
For sure.
Anything else is like nothing. It's not that big of a deal to me, because I know what Cat is capable of and what kind of player he is. Because think about it though, like even if he scored 15 or 15 to 20 points, he's grabbing you a double double, and those assists. People forget those assists bring you points too. So,
Hmm.
and we see quite a few assists in this game from him that was like, wow. So, you know, we just need him to stay focused. Does those two things, I think we should be just fine.
Yeah, I agree because I think we say it all the time here. Like his presence alone on the court requires people to pay attention. Whether he shoots well, whether he scores a lot, it doesn't matter. Teams have to pay attention to him because if you don't, then you'll get a 30-point cat, a 40-point cat, a 60-point cat. You know what I mean? So just his presence on the court for us is important. So absolutely staying out of foul trouble is important. Let's see what else. So tonight, our captain, Jalen Brunson, scored his 10,000th career point. I'm gonna play the clip and then we could just talk about JB, which It's always great things to say about JB. So his 10,000th point came from the free throw line. Again, he had 26 points tonight. That's just great to see. After all the hate that JB has gotten, he's too short, he can't do this, he can't do that. It's just super good to see, milestones from him.
And especially he did it in a Knicks uniform.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's important. We haven't seen that happen in a long time for our team. So I think that's a great thing for him. And it's always great to see because you got a lot of people that like to criticize. I call them casuals because that's what they are. Because I don't know how you can hate a guy like Brunson. His leadership. His leadership is like none other. What he brings to our team is like none other. Without him, we in trouble. Mr. Clutch of the Year. The guy is clutch. When you need him to come through, he comes through. So how he gets the hate is beyond me. But listen, I see more of this to come. I think this is just the beginning. I think we're gonna see him break more records.
Oh, for sure.
You know
what's kind of crazy is that you were just mentioning it. Why does he get the hate? It's because haters just want to do that. I mean, I never understood that concept. Because the one thing that we used to, that a lot of fans would say is, oh, stars don't want to come to New York, or they don't want to come to New York, or this, that, and the third. All right, so when guys come to New York and he is a bona fide star, you still want to criticize him. Why? Because he's not the superstar. When Melo was here, what was his biggest criticism? He wasn't LeBron. When Patrick was here, what was his criticism? Oh, he's not Hakeem, or he's not Robinson, or he's not Michael Jordan. He's not Barkley. He's not this. He's not that. I'm like, yo, have you ever learned how to be appreciative of the fact that you have one? That's number one. Number two, he's putting forth the effort, to wear the New York Knicks uniform with pride, being the face of the franchise. And serious, I ain't gotta say shit else. Frank already took my words. Fuck it. See, from Marine to Marine, we see here.
That is literally the reason. And I'm going to say this. Me and Frank, we live in Texas. We live in Dallas. They love him in Dallas. You still see Jalen Brunson Dallas jerseys in Dallas. No, they are mad that he ain't in Dallas no more. So it's only because he's in New York that there's so much hate. Literally, because this man has chose us. He chose to come here. He created a name for himself here. He created his brand here. He wasn't doing this in Dallas. Granted, he was playing behind Luka, right? But he could have went anywhere else and he would be up there in the talks with Shea and Joker and all of them. But because he's a Knick, he ain't shit. It's cool. We'll take his he ain't shit.
What it is that the haters ain't shit.
Facts.
And they fucking know it. It bothers them and eats at their core. And that's it. I mean, I usually call the haters net fans, but since net fans are becoming more and more scarce. You barely see the Brooklyn hats anymore, the jerseys, because they ain't got shit to say right now. There it is.
Facts.
And just imagine how quick his success here in New York has been. I mean, since we got here, we've gone to the second round, and every year we've gone better and better and better with Jalen Brunson. So I think a lot of that has to do with that too, because nobody likes to see the Knicks do well. You know what I mean? And then nobody likes when Knicks get players like that. Nobody likes that shit. So Now here you go, you got Jalen Brunson, the face of our franchise, and you know, he made the Knicks popular again, and nobody likes that. So that's where you get all that hate from as well.
Yep.
And Frank just mentioned that. Now imagine, back how long ago was it? It was like 7 years ago when they're talking about bringing KD and Kyrie here, and they opted to go to Brooklyn. Could you imagine had that gone on the other side of the bridge, and they became Knicks? First of all, I would probably not be allowed to use Kevin Durant's name, which I'm now allowed to use by legal standing. But could you imagine how that would have worked out? I mean, that would have been a cluster. I mean, if you thought Knicks fans were the punchline of a lot of jokes before, let that happen. Let that sink in. We would have had Kyrie and KD at the Garden, and God forbid we ended up getting James Harden along with that eventually, because he ended up going to Brooklyn and then asking them to get the fuck out of it. How would that have looked?
Yep.
The
And I
punchline
just
would have
think
worked.
it's not only just a Brunson thing too. I think that's just the shit that us New Yorkers have to deal with when we leave New York. I know Knickerbocker, you've lived out of New York. Fraz, you live out of New York. I live out of New York. It's always, y'all think y'all better than, y'all think y'all the shit, y'all think this, y'all too cocky, y'all talk too much, y'all too loud. It's always something with us. It's cool. Just say y'all want to be us. Just say y'all wish y'all were born in the best city in the world. Just say it.
There is that huge stigma of people from New York, because either we're too loud and too brash, too arrogant, or too big-headed. And a lot of people from a lot of other places really do not like us.
Right.
They really do not like us. I've lived in California. I've lived in Arizona. I've lived in the South. I've lived in Philly. You go out wearing anything New York, and if it's more than just a fashion statement, because obviously the Yankee hat is a fashionable icon now, and more than it is a New York statement. But you wear anything New York, the Timbs, this, that, you're gonna get a lot of looks. And people from other places want to test that that New York hood mentality to see if you're really about that. Not always, but it does. And you
Or it's
thought that
always a slick comment.
you thought you leave in New York, you were done with the fighting. Nah, dog, nah, bro.
That's a fact.
It's like if you thought it was bad, walking out of the subway and having to fight. Yeah, it's game time, bro. I rep New Yorkers.
Facts. Fraz, you have anything to say on JB?
There's only 8 players in Knicks history that have gotten over 10,000 points. Brunson just became number 8.
Who's the other 7?
Patrick,
Yeah.
Walt, Carmelo. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Hold on.
Oops.
I'll tell you right now. I know it's Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick has more than 22. I know Melo has more than 16 or 17.
All right, you ready? You ready? I'm gonna go down. Patrick, Wall, Allen Houston, Willie Green. Let's not forget OG Richie Garrett.
He's like he's on the top of everything. Knicks.
Yeah. Well, I said Carmelo already. Carmelo, Patrick, Wall, Willis Reed, Allen Houston, Richie Garrett, and Carl Braun. Those are the 7 other than Jalen Brunson who have scored 10K points with the Knicks.
All right. Well, you've heard of most of them. 1 or 2 you probably didn't. And if you're a real Knicks fan, you should really do some research and find out who Richie Garrett is. I think it's kind of like a prerequisite. To be a Knicks fan, you need to know who Patrick Ewing is, who Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Richie Guerin, and of course Carmelo Anthony and Jalen Brunson. You should at least know the five pillars of Knicks history. I'm sure that there are more, and if my boy the Godfather were here, he'd probably like yell at me. It's just like there's like six or seven more other guys, but we'll talk about that on another day. Excuse me. Looking forward towards the schedule. The New York Knicks on Sunday will host the Los Angeles Lakers. That will be on Peacock. I think that's the primetime game of the week. And then it goes into that back-to-back swing again. They're at Washington on Tuesday to then come home on Wednesday night to host the Denver Nuggets. To then we go into a rematch. It's kind of a rematch weekend because we're then in Detroit, in Boston, and then we finally get to see the Indiana Pacers. I know it don't mean shit.
Fuck them
now, but it's always nice to see them. And then we close out the All-Star, heading into the All-Star break with the matchup again, heading into Philadelphia and taking on the Sixers. Kev, I want to hear from you. You just heard the name of the opponents. How do you see the Knicks faring out closing out the All-Star break?
So you said we play the Lakers, Detroit,
the Lakers, Washington, Denver, Detroit, Boston, Indiana, and Philadelphia.
I think listen, as long as we keep playing the kind of defense we've been playing as of late, I think we could fare out well against these teams. I think the one team that concerns me the most out of all of them is Detroit, because we took a beating to them. They gave us belt to ass. So yeah. I think that's the one team that I really got circled on my list as get back, because from that game forward is when the struggle began. They kind of exposed us a little bit. So that's the team that I'm looking for the most. Fuck the Lakers and all them other teams. I think we could beat those guys. But the one that I really, really, really want badly, I want that Detroit get back, man, because they really washed us up. And that didn't sit well with me at all. Watching that game was really, really tough. I felt like that was like one of the worst losses of this season. And I've had that. I've had this game marked since the day it happened. And I'm that's the team that I really want to get back. So I think we could fare well with them, but that's really the one that I want back. That one right there. That game to me is the most important out of all of them.
So you're saying about 6-1, 5-2. How do you think you were going?
I mean, the way we're playing, I think we could go 5-2.
Fair enough, sis.
I agree with Kev. I think the game that I want to see the most is the Detroit game. I want to see how physical the Knicks really can get. I think playing Knicks basketball, what we've been seeing, will win us most of those games. But I want to see specifically Cat, how he's gonna fare with the physicality of Detroit. And the reason for that really is because that's really how they play, is how playoff basketball is. I mean, we know it. And I want to see how angry the Knicks are for getting their ass whipped like the way that we have. So that's the game that I have circled on my calendar as well. Boston too, just because I fucking hate them and I hate Jaylen Brown. I hate everything about Jaylen Brown. But other than that, it is what it is. I mean, the Lakers are the Lakers. We already know we got to contain somebody on the Lakers. I think we could contain LeBron a little bit better than Luka. But we'll see. Uh, the Nuggets, apparently Joker will be back for that game. So,
Madison Square Garden, yeah.
right, exactly. But other than that, I mean, we're good. I mean, and to be honest, I wouldn't take the Sixers lightly because they're mad that we bust their ass. Um, so I will be careful with that one too. But I mean, if we play the way we're supposed to play, we should win most of those games, including that Philly game. We just got to play Knicks basketball. I mean, I feel like we turned the corner at the right time, right when the right before the schedule got a little rough. We turned the corner and again, just build on it. Just continue to build on it.
Fraz, before we get to you, I need everybody to hit us up on the in the chat. What do you think over the next 7 games? Looking over the schedule one more time. The Knicks go head into Sunday at Madison Square Garden to host the Lakers. Then on Tuesday, they head into Washington to then flip around on a back-to-back to come home and host the Denver Nuggets. Friday night, they will head to Detroit to take on the Pistons. To Sunday night in Boston to take on the Celtics. Tuesday night, they return home to take on the Pacers. And then they close out the heading into the All-Star break, heading into Philadelphia to take on the Sixers. What is your prediction? 5-2, 6-1, 7-0, whatever you guys want to think. 3-4, I don't care. Just hit us up in the chat. Make sure that you continue to like, comment, subscribe, and continue to sharing. Keep the algorithm going. We're still on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there. Fraz, you just heard the opponents. How do you see the Knicks faring out?
I'm gonna say 5-2. No, 2 games that concern me the most are the Pistons and the Nuggets, because of the simple fact that the Nuggets have given us problems in recent years as well, and the fact that as much as I want to get back against Detroit, that's still a game that you got to keep in mind on the calendar. So I'm gonna say 5-2.
You know what? I'm going to go with 5-2 as well. Sorry, I honestly feel that the Knicks just fare better against the Nuggets for some reason. Over the last few years, we just had their number. I don't know if this is a matchup issue or because the Nuggets and the Knicks don't see each other. They only see each other twice a year, and they just happen to catch each other at the right time. I feel that the Knicks. What up, cut? J1 the building. Obviously, you guys all hit it up. The Detroit Pistons next week. That's the one that that I'm really looking forward to. And obviously, anytime we play the Celtics, I'm with sis on this one. I hate everything Boston. I hate the color green. I hate Jaylen Brown and his and his
Terrible hairline.
his freaking faded out hairline. I really think that also any reason to shut up Paul Pierce is great, even though he don't play for them anymore. He's been retired since, but fuck him to death. Fuck him. You can't fuck him anymore. Fuck him.
Hey, yo,
I'm looking, but I do want to re-echo the same sentiment you said, sis. I will not want to sleep on the Sixers. They might be still, feeling the effects of us beating them last week, and so to close out heading into the All-Star break, trying to build momentum and knowing what how good VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey can be, and as quick as they can be, and how they get up and down the court, as a team. That's something to be said. So 5-2 is ideal. 4-3 would be okay passing, obviously, but 7-0 is always a bonus, and that would be great heading to the All-Star break.
I mean, the key to beating Philly is just keeping them at a slower pace, which we did pretty well the last time we played them. They didn't get to running. They played more our pace than we played their pace. Up
They
until
did.
the end.
Yeah, I would say so.
And that's because they were running the game through Embiid.
That is a key thing. If you have to play, if you run the offense through Embiid, it does have to slow down because he's a big man, and he doesn't get up and down the court the same way. But if you run the offense through through VJ and Maxey, and you let Paul George be Paul George, if he can still be Paul George, because at his age, who knows? Then I would think that they created an enormous matchup problem for the Knicks because they are slower and methodical. But like you were right, they did start to play a much more slower style in that fourth quarter, which allowed the Knicks to kind of come back, take the lead, and then maintain it. And and I mean, if you keep on playing our style of basketball and not your own, which is it's about to happen. So 5-2 is obviously the most ideal situation, but we will soon see what will happen. But
Yep.
what did you say?
Wait, brother, season of destiny.
It is the season of destiny. It still is the season of destiny to me. But I will say this because we're going on 47 minutes, and I know that we're all kind of tired from a long, crazy week. But I will say this: all these talks that obviously there is another narrative out there in Knicks Twitterverse. We're very much aware of it. We don't try to talk about it too much because the reality is that it's all speculation. But I've said this a couple of times. I've said this in our chat, and I'll say it. I think I said this here once or twice as well. If there is a trade that is going to happen, it will more than likely happen after Sunday. And I'll tell you why. On Sunday, Mikal Bridges' contract becomes tradable. So any idea that a trade might happen for whoever, doesn't have to be for the main one, it could be for whoever, it becomes a possibility from starting on Sunday all the way to the trade deadline. I want to be first, be upfront about this. I've heard about it so many different times. I've been predicting about it. I've been thinking about it. Here's the reality. I don't want it to happen. At least not right now. I think most of us will all agree we want to see this team come together. We want to see it succeed and actually say what James Dolan said it would do, win a championship. We all know what it feels like to have a superstar. We all know what is that? All right. We all know what it feels like to be enticed by big shiny new objects and the new toy. And when the idea of getting a superstar, or at least one of the top 5 players in this league, that you just throw everything at it. I would not do it. I wouldn't do it right now. And since I'm going to say his name for the first time, Giannis, if you ever hear this, if you really want to be a Knick, prove it. And this is how. Wait till the offseason. Wait till the offseason, opt out of your contract, and come to us as a free agent. That's how you do it. That's how you really win over Knick fans. That way, we don't have to dismantle, because you have to be aware that in order for you to be traded anywhere, a team has to gut themselves of draft picks, salary, players, and pretty much mortgage the future. And we don't even know if you're fucking healthy. Just saying. You want to be a Knick that bad? Talk to us in July. Because if you talked to us last July, this would have happened already. But you waited till August. That's just reality.
So I guess the topic really is, with all the trade talks, basketball players, they're basketball players. Yes, we look at them, they're stars in our eyes, but realistically, they're just people, right? Like they're just human like us. They hear the chatter. I know how it affects me as a fan. You know, do you think it really affects them as players? Like to the point where it kind of affects their game. Because a lot of people are like, well, Cat isn't playing up to his, you know, playing Cat basketball because, all the trade talks are in his head. He's mad at the Knicks because the Knicks shopped him around last season and now it's popping back up. What are your well, before we give our thoughts, I found a video because they kind of asked Josh today about trade talks. And so this was his response.
That with the trade rumors and all the noise around your team, you guys are kind of taking like a bunker mentality, just trying to shut everything out. Do you sense that yourself, or is it just the day-to-day is nothing changes?
I don't think anything really changes. There's benefits of being in New York. There's, negatives of being in New York. That's a negative. You're going to be talked about. Someone wants out. You're going to hear your name in the trade room. This is my 9th year in the league. I think I've dealt with trade rumors for 8 of them. I think the only time I did it might have been last year when I signed an extension. I literally couldn't get traded until after the deadline. So it's a part of the game. It's part of being in New York. At times it can get frustrating and overbearing, but that's why you don't really put anything into it because 99% of stuff doesn't even materialize.
All right. Well, to that, I say Josh Hart is absolutely right. He understood the assignment. He understood what he was getting himself into when he was traded from Portland to New York for Cam Reddish of all people. Remember that?
The biggest fleece ever.
So, do I think that so trade rumors affect you? I mean, for us fans, if you've been a fan for more than 10 or 20 years and you've heard at least once or twice your favorite player being considered as part of a trade package to get someone else, it does get frustrating as a fan. So I can only imagine how it would feel for a guy who was born and raised in New Jersey, who grew up a Knicks fan, who his dad is a diehard Knicks fan. His mom was also a Knicks fan. He had a lot of association as a high school player with MSG Network and the New York Knicks, and has always dreamed of becoming a Knick. To finally he establishing himself in Minnesota after being the first overall pick in 2014, 2020, I think that's what it was, and getting himself comfortable, establishing himself as a superstar in this league, to then out of fucking nowhere, he wakes up one morning and he gets the information from the general manager of the Minnesota Timberwolves saying, you've been traded to the New York Knicks. You're essentially your hometown team, the team that you grew up idolizing, you've been traded there. And not only that, but you also you have to go back to that coach you got fired a couple of years ago. And not only did that situation work out, it was probably one of his best seasons in recent memory. So then immediately after just getting out of the Eastern Conference Finals, you hear this thing happening. And although we can say, well, it's all spec, it's not, we don't let that kind of stuff affect us. But not everyone is built the same. Not everyone holds value to the same values. Some of y'all might be saying, well, he's making $53 million. That's not going to change. What does it matter where he plays? Well, it might make a difference if you're...
Shit, there's a difference between New York and Milwaukee, for sure.
I was
Big
just
brother.
going to say that without being disrespectful to the city, to my people in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But I'm just saying, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, New York City. Not saying one is better than the other. I'm just
We
saying
I will say it.
it's an enormous difference. Not only that, but wherever he would have ended up, whether it was in a situation where he was going to Portland, or he gets sent to New Orleans, or wherever, when you've dreamt your entire life of playing somewhere and representing a city like New York, that's part of of your culture, and it's a huge part of your identity, and now that's being considered to be ripped from you, and you have no control over that. That should affect you. How much does it affect you? That's always subjective, and it's I know that goes into that. Oh, he's soft, he's saucy, all that bullshit that we talked about. That we keep on hearing about, and it's been like a running joke. The thing is that he's still human, and guess what? He's entitled to his feelings. And if that stuff, and besides the fact that Mike Brown probably isn't really connecting with him as a play, between a player and a coach, all those things probably affect him. And if that's the case, shouldn't we as fans show our support? Because I mean, that's really our only job as fans. Support our players until they're no longer here. Once they leave, then you can start booing them again. But until when you first see them, give them the round of applause. Now saying "fuck you" and that's it. Get out my face. Until then, if he's a Knick, that once a Knick, always a Knick. The reason they say that is because we will always show love and appreciation for who they are. Right now, Karl-Anthony Towns is a Knick, so why not we show him that respect and that compassion? I don't know about y'all, Fraz.
Listen, at the end of the day, what's the use? Milwaukee? Oh, what? Like, wait, Milwaukee? Like, come on, man. Like, let's be real, man. It's like we always say over here. Until he get traded, it's the name on the front of the jersey. If he get traded, I don't see a move happening. Y'all forget it has to. We almost to the second apron. Things gotta pretty much match up in order for us to make a trade. So I don't. I just don't see a move being made. And the simple fact of the matter is, I'm good with the team I got right now because they more than capable of winning. You've seen it already early on in the season before everybody started going into the whirlwind over the 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 nine losses in 11 games and all of that. Listen, we good. Knicks fans, learn how to be 10 toes down with the motherfucking New York Knicks, man.
Let me tell you something. There's no way it doesn't affect him. And I don't think it's just the trade talk. I think it's just a mountain of things, right? Like he has to deal with the sassiness, all the videos of him with nail polish and all this kind of nonsense we see on social media. Then he has to deal with the trade talk. Then he has to deal with New York media, who just doesn't stop. New York media is absolutely the worst. They don't stop. I feel like other cities, you may see trade talks in the media and then they'll die down a little bit. But New York media, they just keep pounding it, pounding it. Like it's just nonstop. And as a fan, that shit is annoying. Like I'm just like, leave my fucking team alone. Leave us alone. We're good on this side. You know what I mean? If a trade is going to happen, let it be for another bench player, impactful bench player, but leave our core alone. So absolutely, he's human. Like you said, Knickerbocker, he's entitled to his feelings, you know, and it's not a coincidence that player after player after player that we've had have felt the same way, right? Randall would, I mean, he told us, fuck ourselves. You know what I mean? He basically said, fuck you. There's plenty of players, you know, you just gotta, he just needs to continue to be impactful in games. Let this shit die out. I'm over it as a fan, so I can imagine him being over it. And let me go back to this comment because I said I was gonna address it. So Randall saying when you get paid superstar money, you still gotta man up and go out and play hard every night, regardless of trade talks. That's why you want to trade for a superstar, because superstars go out and play hard regardless. And to this, I'm gonna say this, Randall. And I usually agree with a lot of things you have to say, but I do not agree with this. Because such superstar that many Knicks fans want has fucking faked the injury twice thus far since trade talks have ramped up. You think Giannis is really, really hurt?
You're blasphemy! Blasphemous!
So, Cat is getting on the court, impacting, winning in this stretch of games, while such superstar that many Knicks fans talking about in these trade talks has practically given up on his team. I see videos all the time on X with him moping on the sideline, with him, you know, screaming at his teammates, going to the back while the game is still being played. Like, is that something that you want here? Because, yeah, that's being not talked about so much in Milwaukee, but you do that shit in New York, it's going to be a whole different monster you got to deal with. And I don't know that he's built for shit like New York. So, yeah, that's not a true statement because we've seen superstars give up on their teams.
How many times have we seen LeBron quit on his team? Kyrie Irving quit on his team. We've seen Jimmy Butler quit on his team. We've seen other guys quit on their teams. I mean, it's one thing. I mean, I also usually side with everything that Randu says. The thing is that I don't see anybody getting booed at that relentlessly. And well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Cat is getting booed. He's not booing back. Giannis is. Now, you can do that shit in New York if you want to. You probably end up getting shot on the way there, but I'm just saying, because this New York is a different animal. But
especially if we have to give up big names for you or keep a lot of players.
I'm gonna tell y'all like this, to be honest with you. And then I gotta dip because my battery's about to die. First of all, if I'm Karl Anthony Towns, I'm giving everybody the thumbs down. Fuck that. Y'all niggas all deserve that shit. Fuck that. Because at the end of the day, you know, he was one of the reasons why we went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. It wasn't just JB. He was part of that too, right? Number two, we don't have enough to make a trade. We don't have enough draft picks, and we don't have the kind of talent that other teams have, like Miami, like San Antonio. Like, I mean, I think we have the talent, but I think they have a better package to give because they got a lot of these teams. They got draft picks. We gave up all our draft picks for Macau. We gave up 5 of them. So I just don't see the Knicks being one of those teams because I think other teams have better packages than we do, and I think that's why I think it's not gonna happen, right? And number two, you know, any player is gonna feel any kind of way when people just switch up on them. Like just last year, we were jumping for joy and celebrating and calling him all big bodega cat, this and that, and now all of a sudden the media and the fans want to switch up on him. It just doesn't make no sense. I'm not mad at him if he felt no kind of way. As a matter of fact, that just makes me root for him even more. I'm gonna be on that shit like I was with Julius Randle. You know what I'm saying? When Julius Randle was here and everybody was switching, most people were switching up on him. We was the people on his panel, us on his panel. We the ones that was holding it down for Julius Randle. So, you know, I'm not, you know, Whoever don't like him, fuck them. The media, fuck them. You know, it's all about the team that we got here, this core. You know, we know that they want to help us win, and that's all that matters. Anything else is just rumors and stupidity. Because every single year you got these fans wanting to trade for stars, for stars, for stars. And look, Brooklyn tried to put a superstar team together, failed. Phoenix tried to put a superstar team together, failed. You know, and there's quite a few other teams that put superstar teams together and failed. No, we don't need that. We got 2 stars on our team, Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, and everybody else is just solid motherfucking role players. And that's all the fuck we need. Fuck everything else. Listen, you want to make a move? Improve the bench. That's all we need to do. We need to improve the bench. Get Yabusele's his ass up out of here. Period. Pack him up, pack Pakun Dadi, pack him up, and some draft picks, and let's fix our bench. Let's bring in some guys that's gonna help Deuce McBride, Tyler Kolek, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's improve our bench because that is where we need help at. If we fix that problem, we good.
Shit, at this point, I don't even think we need help there. We just need.
I mean, because to be honest with you, to be honest with you, like just trying to get somebody that could improve or just upgrade it just a little bit. Because right now we saw Yabusele to be what Precious was for us, and he hasn't been that at all.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying we still need the coach to cooperate and play. Whomever,
that is true.
For sure. But you know, as far as like that, like I think that listen, Cat, if you watching, man, you know, just play your game. Stay
you got
focused.
some things on this side.
Yeah, like yo, bro, we not here to switch up on you. We going through all the good, all the bad, all through everything with y'all. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Win or lose, we here. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else that's not on that, then you just a casual.
If I could send a message to Karl Anthony Towns, I would say, in the words of the legendary George Lopez, FDP, fuck them putos. Just say fuck them. Fuck them putos. That's it.
Facts. There was one more video since we're talking about Cat and, you know, kind of like the narrative that the media always tries to put out. You know, we hear a lot that, you know, JB don't really like Cat or they don't really get along, right? We hear that a lot. Does this look like guys that don't get along?
Of a lift does that give you guys?
Man, don't give a damn about the rebound. I want to talk about 10,000 points, bro.
No, the rebounding is.
You have to talk about it. Yeah.
The rebound has been. I mean, what he's been doing this past couple of games has been great, and we need that from him. That's what he brings to the table. Offensively, when things aren't going, the ball's not going in as much as it should be, and he finds a way to impact the game, and I think that's really important for us, and it's big time performance for him.
So on a night where Cat had 20 rebounds and they're asking him, he's saying, nobody gives a fuck about my 20 rebounds. Let's talk about 10,000 points. Does that look like guys that don't like each other? Like, as fans, y'all have to, like, stop feeding what the media, like, gives you and, like, use your own 2 eyes that God gave you and make your own decision based off of what you see on TV every night. Right. And even you don't even believe, like for me, I don't even believe the shit I read unless I see a video that coincides with what you said, somebody said. You know what I mean? Because with all the media we have, there got to be a video of something that was said, right? Don't just go and tell me somebody said something in writing and I can't see a video of it. But that doesn't look like guys that don't like each other. It really doesn't, not to me.
That looks like that. I mean, first of all, Cat really does play onto that saucy part of that saucy narrative a little bit too much. But at the same time,
I'm just saying, and I know you're Dominican, Knickerbocker, but he's Dominican.
Yeah, but that
Y'all got
was
some sauce in you.
no.
That's kind of true. That's kind of true.
No. What the fuck you mean? No, that doesn't look like two guys that don't like each other. That looks like two guys that probably annoy each other every now and then. like they'll
Like a big
freaking,
brother, little brother.
yeah, like I ain't touching you, niggas. Or they'll say each other stupid things on via Snapchat or whatever. But
You got to remember, right? Who the hell likes losing?
Facts.
Who the fuck likes losing? Think about it. I just want to
Clippers
go
fans,
out and lose
Nets
every
fans.
game. I just want to go out and lose every game, and you know what I mean? No, you're gonna get frustrated when you lose. Of course, man. It's listen. If you're not getting mad that you're losing, that's a problem.
That
If you're
is.
not frustrated that you're losing, that is a huge problem for me. When I see guys smiling and laughing and giggling and fucking around, that is a problem for me. I want to see my players piss the fuck off that we're not winning and we can't find ways to win, because that shows me that they care. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what the media or what these people gotta say. We know what kind of players we have. We know how they feel about winning because we've seen them do it. Just people gotta stop worrying about all these people with clicks, clickbaiting. They clickbaiting, bro. It's just a clickbait. It's just to get viewership and people to comment and get reaction. That's all it is. At the end of the day, our guys want to win. And it's okay if you see them getting frustrated. It's okay if you see them arguing with each other on the sidelines, bro. That's called holding everybody accountable. Yo, nigga, you fucked up. You were supposed to get this guy. You didn't get him. Why didn't you get him? I want to see that. I want to see the bickering and all that. That's natural, bro. That is natural. Anybody that plays sports or been on a team, you're gonna bicker with your teammate here and there. It's gonna happen. It's not personal, bro. Just do your job. If we all do our job, we'll win. Period. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we gotta do our job. Period.
Facts. Fraz.
Listen, again, I'm gonna say it for everybody in the back. Y'all know my stance on this team. These guys get along. Whether you think so or not, they get along. I'm sure they've had plenty of talks about everything going on already. But what good is it if you only want to be around for the good and not the bad? I thought everything came in one package. So with that being said, as far as Cat and Jalen are, and Cat and other players, if they felt they didn't want Cat there, I'm sure, especially if JB said something, they would take his opinion into consideration, and Cat wouldn't even be on this team.
Facts.
So here's the thing, Knicks fans. More than likely, Cat's gonna be here for the remainder of this season. And what you saw with that clip, to me, was that they're finding a way to make it work, even when Cat ain't having the best scoring night. Their teammates, it ain't always gonna be roses, but you could tell they get along, and you could tell that they want him. They want him in the Knicks uniform, meaning Cat. So to me, I think, like I've been saying all along, these are just part of the bumps in the road of a first year team that's just all trying to mesh and make it work. This is what happens. It's up to you as the player to not let things mentally overwhelm you. You know what I mean? What you mean, Chad and JB ain't getting along? Listen, I'm gonna land the plane with a line from my guy, the comedian Godfrey, right? Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Listen, you want to win championship? You got to have it corazón. All right? And that's it.
That's a fact. It's crazy because I'm looking on X as we're doing the show, and I don't show a lot of people love, but didn't we just say this?
Yes.
So we're not the only people that sees this.
Yo, shout out to everything Knicks too.
Facts.
Nice.
Word.
Big fact.
But that's just a natural thing. That's like earlier. I'm not gonna say who it is, because I ain't gonna give them no kind of. But it's like they said. I remember when when Julius Randle was here, it was like, oh, him and Jalen Brunson is not a good fit. They don't play well together, right? And now I heard that same person say the complete opposite. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, they kind of played well together and they spaced the floor pretty well. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy how the media, like, they forget the things they say, because I used to watch this person, and now, I go back and I listen to him now, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. All we're gonna do is say this: when we win a chip, which we will win, we're gonna say we told y'all so. With this team, we're gonna say we told y'all so.
Yeah.
And if y'all don't have anything else, we're gonna end on that note.
Yeah.
We will be back Sunday night when the New York Knicks take on the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Doncic just had a crazy night, 37 points, triple-double, like 13 rebounds, 11 assists.
Yeah, like a triple in the first half.
Yes.
If I saw it correctly, he got it in the first quarter.
Even worse. Even worse.
Wow.
Absolutely bonkers. He was going bonkers. I was like,
He is special. Let me tell you, man. He is special, bro. Like,
he is special, but let's not deny the fact that there's a huge elephant in the room that's stunting from this team from being fully his.
LeBron.
I didn't want to say that.
That's so funny because on the broadcast today, they said it. They were like, oh, Luka and the Lakers are coming. I mean, we should have said LeBron and the Lakers.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Like, I don't think those guys click, bro.
No, they don't.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people talk about the Knicks and how our guys don't click, but we see what not clicking looks like.
Yeah,
that ain't what we see in New York.
And it's not that these guys are not trying.
Right.
Because I don't honestly think that LeBron would actually, try to sabotage his own, chance of winning a title. I don't think that of him at all.
I mean, he did when he made them get his son, but okay, because his son is ass.
I think after this year, I think it's gonna be Luka's team from here on out after this year, because I think after this year LeBron is ghost.
Ghost on them or ghost.
I think he's dipping
in the league.
No. I think he's gonna play again, but it ain't gonna be for the Lakers.
Yeah,
I can see that. Because I think he's gonna wait for Bryce to come into the league before he dips the league.
If he makes it.
If he's anything like Bronny,
I saw that.
Oh no, Bryce ain't like Bronny.
I'm
Yo,
sorry. I've seen maybe one clip of him, and there's no difference from the same clip I saw of Bronny.
it's night and day compared to Carmelo's son, bro. Night
Oh
and
yeah,
day.
they don't got nothing on Cayenne. They don't got shit on Cayenne.
Beyond, no, I'm sorry. Kyan Anthony is a fucking freak of nature.
Bro, he is gonna be, and he's just a freshman. You know what I mean? Like, let's say he stays another year. Let's say, which I think he should. I think he should stay 3 years.
Just to get more burn.
Remember, they
Yeah, for
getting
sure.
paid anyway. They getting paid in college now, so it's not like you can stay there 3 years and really develop.
And you don't need the money. You don't come from a family that needs you to take care
Right.
of you.
Carmelo
got money.
Anthony's
Right.
son, and Carmelo and Lala Anthony's son, it's not like we don't know what they do.
Right.
Right. And we know, what kind of we don't know Melo personally, but from what we see, he's very involved in his son's life, and I'm pretty sure he might be like, yo, stay there 2-3 years, develop your game, and then.
Well, he
go
said
do
it.
that.
He I don't remember where he said. He may have said it on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Maybe. I think it was. He said, we're gonna see how he plays, and then we'll talk about if he needs to go back or go into the league.
I mean, I honestly think that he would benefit tremendously for at least another year.
Yeah.
Even though he would, he would be a high draft pick, even if he left now. If he came in now, he'd probably be in the top 10. I don't know if he's surefire in the lottery in comparison to the other guys that are there now. But if he would benefit tremendously, because then he'll be a top 3 pick another year from now. And unless
it's just so crazy to me how the more you stay in college, the more your value drops to the NBA. It's insane.
But you know what?
It's mainly because you only have this much to gauge. 1 year, 12 to 15 games. That's how much you have to gauge if you're an NBA scout. With these one and dones. When guys used to play 3-4 years, it's like, well, in his freshman year, I think he had a better year in his freshman year than he did in his senior year, and so on and so forth. So that is also one method to the one and dones. That's what at least one or a couple of agents have told me. It's like, if you only play the 1 year, that's all they're going to lead you on. As opposed to guys who are, who stay in college for 3-4 years, get their degree, which is, that's going to benefit them, in the long run. But more often than not, they don't ever end up using them anyway. But at least also the likelihood of an injury happening, and then how that school's medical team handle it, and how that also can be an issue. There are a couple of guys that come in. Like Greg Oden was a key. He had a great college career, but they didn't handle his injuries correctly, and then therefore, when he got to the NBA, what happened? Complete bust. There's a couple other guys that that had the same situation. That just didn't handle their. I think DeAndre Ayton was at one point the same thing. Joel Embiid, same thing. They never handled his injuries correctly, and then. There you go.
Makes sense.
But we will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for joining us here on Knicks and Nish. It was a fun conversation, and we hope to continue. Be sure to continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And sharing is always caring. If you haven't already done so, go cop yourself some merch. We will have some new stuff here. Definitely have something ready by there you go. See what the Parlay Lord is showing you the Knicks and Nish hoodie. Go cop yourself one. Sunday night, Knicks host LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers. We will be here. Be sure to continue to like, comment, and subscribe, as I said. Sharing is always caring. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. For the Parlay Lord. For the one and only co-host Kev Rodriguez, Mrs. Knicks, the First Lady. I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Avenue. Have a good night, everyone. Keep on talking that ish, New York, and please someone say it.
Hit the out.
Boom shakalaka! The Knicks are great. These kids and our party just lit. Talk to 'em.